Your father and I are very upset with you, young man. Honestly, Mom and Dad, you two just don't get with the modern day vibes. Honestly, listen to yourself. You think that just because the Valk made you all-powerful, that means you can just do whatever you want? Yeah, that's exactly what I think. And I don't need to deal with this dumb nature preserve and hippie stuff that you do. I can go hang out with my cool uncle, Mutant Tigertron. Hey, kid, yeah, come on, let's go. I'll let you drink drinks you're too young to be drinking yet. Come on, party at my place, woo! Now there's a man who understands how to live. Son, wait, do not go. If you leave with that degenerate, you will not be welcome back. Do you hear me? He's corrupting our baby boy. Yeah, hi. I'm here. I'm in this bit too. Not really because I fit in, but because this is also playing in front of a review that is technically of me as well as Tigerhawk. Yeah. Ooh. Is this even funny? I mean, it feels kind of sad. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah. You know what? Let's just get to the review. Ooh. Hasbro finally let the Beast Wars return, and thankfully, it seems like they're still going on in the Legacy United toy line. This time, bringing both a Transwell 2, but also a character from the Japan-only series, Beast Wars II. With the big I was added on to the show at the last minute man himself, Tigerhawk, and Mr. Cheetor stand-in until Leo Jr. shows up, Tasmanian-Kid. Two characters who couldn't feel any more different from their size, colors, aesthetic, and the fact that one turns into a real animal and the other is a tiger with hawk wings. And that's why he's called Tigerhawk, by the way. Just like how Tasmanian-Kid is called that because he, of course, is a Tasmanian devil, and a pretty cute one to boot, looking really nice with his chocolatey brown fur and bright blue eyes. He can't do much in this form other than look good, but that's true for most beast formers, and it really isn't a problem. I mean, the Dinobots don't do anything in their alt modes either, and the beast haters never complain about them. They're just all simple toy animals, and that's okay, especially because they have a robot inside. And if we crack him open to reveal that robot, we can see that he is looking very nice, and very much like he did in the animation. A big part of which is accomplished by the faux chest to emulate the idea of it being made out of the beast's lower jaw, without having to either give the beast a gigantic head, or the robot an extremely small chest. Plus, you just aren't doing Beast Wars right if you don't include some guys that have teeth lined across their gut. Gotta love his cute little face having elements of his beast mode in it, most notably those big pointy ears of his. He also has a big set of beast claws, thanks to his hands being the back feet of his beast mode. They do look a bit squished and kind of out of proportion, but at least he can claw his enemies apart with them. They also have little ports in the palms to let him kind of hold core class weapons, but not really. He's also got more standard ports under his arms, which lets him have his good old tail cannon for shooting up the bad bots. This guy is probably the most fun I've had with any core class yet, which could maybe be because of nostalgia, because I loved reading the Gathering novel as a kid, and Snarl, which is what Tasmanian-Kid was called in the US back in the day, was a member of the main cast in that book. But he's just such a fun time to play around with, and I really hope to get a Bound Rogue repaint of him. The Sonic the Hedgehog Transformer needs to make a comeback, it's his time! Now to switch over from the little guy to the big guy, Tigerhawk, the Vok fusion of Tigertron and Airazor, two of my favorite Beast Wars characters, into one new body, only to die in the next episode and have Tigertron and Airazor come back to life in Transmetals in the BotCon comics, now returning to the toy shelves with more animation-accurate colors. And he's just okay. Yeah, this has been a problem for too long now with the leader class figures, where they just do not justify this price point to the consumer, even if the team could have only made the figure at this point to even make it work. And it's sad to see it every time, especially for the last of the free big toys from Season 3 of Beast Wars. Hey, if you think I'm wrong about it, please tell me because I remember people saying that about Primal and Megatron when they came out, which I disagree with completely. And even if they are inferior to the originals, they are still good toys in their own right. And Tigerhawk doesn't hit me in the same way. I'm not calling him garbage, but I feel he's the weakest update of a Beast Wars toy for the modern era. Unless Rhinox was bad, I don't know, I never got him. Stuck with my Frilling 31. Okay, let's actually take a look at this guy, and what about him doesn't jive with me. The beast mode of a tiger with wings is awesome, and the closest thing we have to a griffin transformer, which is something you have to give him props for, even if parts of it just don't work. Like, let's start with the front claws, and how he has two different sets for his beast mode, and for his feet in robot mode. But that just results in those big purple heels just sticking out in front of his legs, which is just kind of gross to look at. And unless I'm transforming him wrong, his head sits so low, like he's always looking down. And it also has a big hole in the front of it, which probably means he was going to have the falcon mask head that his original toy had, but it was clearly costed out, and now we have that eyesore for nothing. This one might just be a problem with mine, but the chest won't come together. If I get one side in, the other won't budge, and that's just not acceptable. The last thing we need to talk about are the wings. The VTOL engines act as a forward and back joint, which is good. Then he has these soft ratchets for up and down movement, and for the one connecting the purple part to the Gatling gun, it works pretty well. It has 5 points it can go in, but you can't really use the highest one because those green parts are a bit too big and keep it from getting there. The problem comes from the one that connects the whole wing to the body. It only has 3 points it can go in, and this can result in the things getting in the way. Heck, they can't both be in the upward position without the faux wheels bumping into each other. Oh yeah, I guess I should bring this up. He seems to have this hidden tank mode that wasn't advertised, and honestly, this thing is really silly and I love it. My biggest problem with the Transmetal 2s is how so many of them excluded the third vehicle modes that were kind of the whole point of the Transmetal gimmick. My only problem with it is that his wheels aren't real wheels, but aside from that, this may be my favorite thing about the toy. Now, despite the flaws of the Beast mode, the Robot mode isn't that bad. It doesn't redeem his flaws, but it's still pretty good. His hips sadly have the same soft ratchet problem his wings have, but if he's going to support all that weight, then he should have some ratchets holding it up, so we can let that go. His head is looking as cool as ever, with the big purple helmet with a feather on the one side, the big red eyes behind the lovely green visor, and those sharp, snarly teeth. Plus, there are some other fun features all over him, like the talons mounted over the shoulders and the pistons in his legs. It's a really fun robot design, and this renders it beautifully. For weaponry, he doesn't have any lightning effects, so that still needs to be part of your imagination, but he's still pretty well armed, starting up with his double-barreled blaster that you can put anywhere, but it is meant to go on his right arm here, and it looks pretty good. You probably also noticed that the Gatling guns have folded around to reveal these big old cannons that can come off and be used as some powerful looking handguns. I do wish they could go into both sides of his arm like the original, but sadly that was omitted. And of course, he has the weapon style he stole from Silverbolt, where the feathers at the end of the wings come off and can be used as a set of swords. They're an alright set of blades, and are easily my favorite weapon in his arsenal. They just look so cool, slashing through those Predacons. He isn't the greatest figure ever made, and I feel you should only get him if you're a die-hard Beast Wars fan, or just a super Tigerhawk fan, but he does have his charm. Just see if you can get him on a discount. Honestly, these two figures couldn't be any more different from each other. One's a fun little thing that's worth the pickup, and the other is a big guy that you gotta really know you want if you're gonna get it. It just goes to show you that not every toy is gonna be a winner. It's still really nice to have these two in the modern Beast Wars collection, but I just hope that Tigerhawk's lacklusterness is more the exception than the rule for future members of the animal kingdom, and we get more good stuff like Tasmanian Kid over here. See you guys around.